Cyclospora is something that is in the news a lot right now. It is a parasitic protozoal disease that is basically experiencing a major upswing now in the summer of 2026. So, what is Cyclospora? So, Cyclospora, as I said, is a parasitic protozoal infection first described in the 1970s in Papua New Guinea. It's been around obviously longer than that. And people get it by ingesting water or produce that's been contaminated by water that has human fecal matter within it. So it is a fecal oral infection. What's interesting about it, though, is you don't get it directly. People shed oocysts, and those oocysts take about a week or so in the environment to mature to a stage that's infective, that can productively infect someone. And when you get it, pretty explosive diarrhea, abdominal pain, sometimes fevers, chills, and it can last months. It is treated with an antibiotic called Bactrim, but sometimes people don't get diagnosed. And to diagnose it, you have to actually do a stool test that requires kind of a special order. It's not something that's routinely tested for. A lot of times these cases are missed. And every year in the United States, we have several thousand cases, either in travelers who went to endemic areas, and it is endemic in the tropical and subtropical area where the soil and the environment favors the maturation of these oocysts. But we do get cases from imported produce. So I think of Cyclospora as a produce disease. So water in certain fields might be contaminated with fecal matter, and then that is irrigating produce. So things like raspberries, lettuce, basil, snap peas, watercress, those have all been linked to outbreaks. You can technically get it in a swimming pool if oocysts are there and they have time to mature, or if they can get through that process in a pool, but it's not the main way that people get it. It's a produce disease. That's what you need to think about. What's happened? Well, right now we've got 17 states, primarily Michigan. Michigan has a lot of cases, but there are cases in many other states as well, obviously 17, that aren't really linked to international travel. And there's not a common source yet. They don't know if all of these people had produce. They don't know if this is all one outbreak or multiple outbreaks, but it is something that there's over 700 cases in Michigan, 36 people hospitalized. And most of these cases will resolve. It can be very severe in immunocompromised individuals, but it is something that's really interested the press and interested the general public, because this outbreak is occurring, at the time of the World Cup. Anecdotally, people are hearing about people having diarrhea. I at least know 2 or 3 people that are having diarrhea that don't have any international travel. And I think that it's going to be something that we hear about for some time until we actually unravel why this outbreak occurred. So there is no vaccine. There is a treatment, as I said, so antibiotics like Bactrim. It's something very hard to remove from produce, even if you clean it, if you wash it, scrub it, it still may not completely remove it. Bagged salads are another thing to avoid at this time. Obviously, cooking or heating your produce, but most people don't heat raspberries. That can get rid of it, but it is something that is very difficult to eradicate. So it's going to be some time before we get our handle on this, but it is something that's kind of important to know. And we're in the peak season. Spring and summer is when this happens. So that's not out of the ordinary. What's out of the ordinary might be that we don't actually know what's driving this, but that's going to take some time to see.